Well, now here on GCR, we're going to talk a little baseball. We're going to head out west because our next guest is participating in the Arizona Fall League right now. He is a top Orioles pitching prospect, and it's been a little while since we caught up with Carter Baumler, who's back with us on GCR. Carter, it's Glenn. It's great to catch up with you, man. Hope everything's going great. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes for us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to doing this and doing more down the road.
No doubt, man. Let's start with just how you're feeling, how things are going out there, and I know it's been I don't know if bumpy's the right way to describe it, right? But like how are you feeling at this point out there in Arizona?
Yeah, feeling good. Obviously this year coming back off a shoulder injury,
Yeah.
and made a few starts during the regular season, and then had a couple you know live ABs when I was down in Florida before this for about 6 innings, and then coming out here and I've made 3 starts out here, which have been decent. Feeling good. Out here and facing some really good competition. So it's been a good time.
So you had the shoulder surgery in the off season, right? And you like take
Yeah.
me through what you knew about the surgery. This is baseball. Everybody's my God, everybody goes through this type of stuff, right? But is it still when you're talking about your shoulder? Do you still have like the fears? Do you still have the oh God, what's it going to be like afterwards? What do you go through when you make the decision?
Yeah, I mean, you go through any surgery, regardless. It doesn't matter what it is. It can be something super small. It can be, a shoulder surgery. And when you make the decision, I mean, there's a few other people that I know have gone through something like this, and it's always a little scary. But you just got to be patient with it. The when you make that decision, it's something you make for the long term, and that's what me and my family did, and the Orioles did, and glad I made it. Obviously, it always takes some time coming back from it. It's always a little bit of a roller coaster, and that's something you kind of got to expect. But yeah, it's definitely been a little bit of a roller coaster, but it's been good.
How do you
Learned a
handle
ton.
the mental aspect of it, right? Like the where you want to be in this process, and like the good news, of course, being that you're still a really young guy, whereas other guys maybe go through this at like 25 or something, and it really starts messing with them. But in
Mhm.
handling your goals and where you wanted to be, and level by level, is it difficult to pause and say, okay, I've got to settle, I've got to recalibrate my expectations a little bit because I'm going to miss the better part of a season.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, coming out of high school, it's like, as soon as I get drafted, I'm like, let's freaking do this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm ready to pitch. I'm ready to face some good competition and showcase who I am. And obviously, you kind of when you run into a couple injuries, it like sets you back, and it is tough mentally because you want to be out there playing and you see other people playing. But I think that's just it's motivation. Um, and you can't let it bog you down. You gotta keep firing on all 8 cylinders and keep going. And that's part of it. It's just you got to stay patient, keep grinding because you never know. You could make one or two adjustments and figure a couple things out, along the way, and become a lot better ball player from it.
Yeah, Carter Baumler is with us. He's pitching for the Solar Sox out in the Arizona Fall League. Carter, I wonder if there was a moment when you got back, either at affiliate ball or out there in Arizona. Like I know there was a 7 strikeout game. Did you have a moment where you were like, "All right, all's good," like everything's fine. I'm still the guy that I always knew that I was. Nothing's gone wrong here. All ships ahead. Did you have that type of moment?
Yeah, I'd say a little bit. We actually, when I was down in Florida before I came out here, I threw a couple live ABs, both 3 innings apiece on a Friday and Saturday, and we put some really good work in before getting down here with the Orioles, with some of the pitching coaches down there, and I think they put me in a really good spot before coming out here. And then obviously my first outing went pretty well. Even though I was getting down in a few counts, I ended up battling back a few times and had a few Ks. Um, and I think that was kind of the point where it's like, I haven't faced a ton of competition above above low A.
Hmm.
So getting out here and seeing that I can dominate hitters when I'm executing pitches and my stuff plays and plays well. So I think that was a pretty cool moment where it's like, you know what, yeah, if we're feeling good, we can go out there and we can do some damage.
I gotta be honest, I hadn't thought about that aspect of being at the fall league. Is that like you're facing hitters from basically every level, right? Like, and in a way, that almost has to build your confidence. Like, you get a couple of those guys out, you're like, dude, that's a double A guy, that's a triple A guy. Like that, I hadn't even considered that aspect of the experience of the fall league. Is that like it could be even more beneficial confidence wise.
Yeah, 100%. And that was part of the decision for the Orioles, bringing me out here. I know that I can compete, at a very high level. And that was, they wanted me to come out here and, face some good competition. That way it's like, I go into the off season with some good confidence and, put some good work in before next year. Next year's a big year for me. So, yeah, I think that was definitely a big factor in coming out here.
Carter, watching what happened throughout the organization over the course of the last, like, I mean, obviously when you arrived, you already knew, like, the moment was already, the tide was starting to turn clearly, but
Yeah.
it ramped up and was almost on steroids this season, right? Like, it was, we didn't know that this was coming. What did
Yeah.
it mean to you to see it? And how much more exciting is, I know, like, your journey is going to be exciting no matter where you are, but knowing what could be ahead in the next couple of years and seeing how real the possibility of, like, the Orioles competing for a World Series is, how much did that strike you as you were working to get back this year?
Yeah, it's just super exciting is what it is. When I first got drafted in 20, we had a fall instruction. I was able to face some of those guys and play with a few of them, Gunner and Adley and Stowers and a few other people and playing with them and now seeing what they're doing in the show, and seeing how, the entire Orioles big league team has just, turned things around and kind of caught everybody off guard this year. And obviously we had a really good chance this year. It just didn't play great for those 3 games against the Rangers, but I mean, yeah, it's just exciting because I know that in the next couple years, 2, 3 years, like when I get up there, it's we're going to be competing, and um, my role is going to play a big part, and yeah, it's super exciting. It's really cool to see. I tune in for just about every game, or as many as I can, and it's really cool to watch.
Do you feel an amount of pressure in there? Like, do you feel an amount of, I am a pitcher that they wanted, and that they, this isn't an organization that's drafted a ton of pitchers early since Mike Elias has arrived here. Is there an amount of pressure that you carry with that as, like, I feel like I have a significant responsibility to where it is that this team wants to get as a championship contender in the future?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously the Orioles made an investment in me, and I continue to feel that every day. Just with how they treat me and pretty much every other pitcher. It's like the Orioles just they treat us very well, and they expect a lot from us, and they invest their time, their effort, and everything into us. So I think there needs to be pressure on anybody, in a position, if you're a pitcher, position player, whatever, to go out there and perform. So definitely.
I guess I should have phrased it the way the first time, right? Like, you go through the shoulder surgery after you had already been through, like, an injury, and you'd already been through, was it Tommy John the first time?
Yeah.
So, like, is there any, like, do you ever feel sorry for yourself in the do you ever go through, like, a holy F, why me, man? Like, do you go through any of that?
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like, damn,
Yeah,
like what the heck
right.
happened? Like that happened quick, but I think, in times where it's like I can kind of feel that kind of thought coming on, it's like, you know what? I just got to trust in the Lord and
Okay.
understand that this stuff happens for a reason. There's a plan in place, and I'm just one of the chess pieces, and someone else is kind of moving me around, and they got a plan for me. So I just put my trust and worry in Christ, and That's about it.
I don't want to be dismissive because I obviously your faith clearly stands out in that, but are there other people that you've turned to like during this when you've gone through whatever self-doubt or pity or whatever it is? Have there been other people that have helped you along in the process?
100%. We have a really good coaching staff. Close with my parents. Talking to my dad, and when things get a little tough, definitely helps. And we also have a really good amount of teammates that we can turn to and talk about this stuff because it's not just me going through things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other people going through stuff. It doesn't matter what level they're at. It can be the big leagues, it can be rookie ball, it can be just down in Florida rehab and whatever. So there's a lot of people to turn to and talk about this stuff and, how to deal with injury, how to deal with anything. So, yeah, we just got a good group of guys that we can turn to.
I still assume it's got to be better to dealing with it at your age, right? Like I still got to think that it's better now than like get it all out of the way, and then cruise, right? Get to the big leagues and then just cruise moving forward. This is it. You can't. How much
Yeah.
bad luck can you have injury wise, right? Like you've got to get it all out of the way at this point.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, there's guys that are older than me that are going through stuff and
Yeah.
they're in a really tough position. So obviously, I feel blessed where it's like, let's get this stuff out of the way early. Let's learn my lessons that I need to learn and, continue God's plan and move forward from it. So, in a part, yeah, I do feel a little blessed that I'm getting this stuff out of the way early and definitely helps being a high school pick, with
Yep.
having a little time on my hands and we don't have to rush, certain things, and we can come back and learn the most.
All right, Carter Baumler with us from out in Arizona, where he's playing with the Solar Sox in the Fall League. Let's get the important stuff. How's the velocity sitting? Where are you at this point? Are you completely back? I know you were in the mid 90s at one point. Where are you at this point?
Yeah, I mean, since I've been out here, average velo has been around like 92 and a half, pretty much 94 every start. So, yeah, it's been good. Happy with it. Yeah.
I like that. Were you able to spend time like working on your repertoire at all, or do you have to like just pretty much focus on like getting back, building back up the arm strength, and then we'll worry about that come the spring?
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I feel like we've definitely made some good strides when it comes to working on my cutter, slutter, and that pitch has
That
gotten a
is
lot
the
better
first
for
time I've heard. I've heard a lot of terms. I got to be honest with you. I had not heard slutter yet. Is that a common one now?
Yeah, it's kind of like it's just like kind of between like a gyro slider and a cutter.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I kind of like I'll call it a cutter just
You,
because
you
not
don't you don't
everybody.
have you don't happen to have a baseball lying around, do you? You don't happen to have one that you
I
could.
do inside. I'm sitting outside on the porch right now,
Oh
but
man, I was gonna see if we could have you show it to us.
yeah, I mean it's pretty much just like a little bit more than a cutter.
Okay.
So yeah, definitely
Is that
made
one?
some good
Is
strides.
is that something that you brought with you, or is that something that you learned in the system?
So I started throwing it last year a little
Okay.
bit, um, and I wasn't executing it well, and I think this year, like going through the rehab, definitely kind of learned how to use it and throwing it in game a little bit more. Kind of having a few different scenarios and locations I can throw it to, and just working on that. I mean, it's definitely been a pitch that's helped me out a ton so far,
It's cool.
which has been sweet. And obviously my curveballs, that's kind of always been something that's been there for me. And I think it's a pitch I naturally throw pretty well. And change up, we've been adding in quite a bit more, and we've been using it pretty well.
You're out there in Arizona. How much golf have you been able to get in?
That's funny.
There's
Yeah,
got to
we've
be,
been
bro. Like, come on.
we've we've been able to get out a few times. It's good. We have a couple teammates and a couple other kids from other organizations that like to golf too. So we've been able to get out a little bit.
Have you walk me through? Have you been spending time like you mentioned some of the other guys from the system? I know Peaks out there, right? And TT Bowens. Who have you been able to connect with? Who did you know ahead of time? What's that been like trying to get to know maybe some of the other guys within the system?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everybody who's out here right now, other than I think Billy and John. have rehabbed at some point this year.
Okay.
So pretty much I knew everybody before. Obviously, I knew Billy and John before too. So I mean, we were all pretty close and knew each other before coming out here. So it's been good. You know, we've been able to hang out and you know, watch football or do whatever.
That's
So
cool, man.
it's been good.
That's cool. Who's the who's the mark? Who's the guy that we always ask this? Everybody throughout the system. Who's the guy that thinks that they're a good golfer, but like you're taking money off of whenever you guys go out?
Man, you know, I haven't put a bunch of money down golfing yet. I mean,
Okay.
there's a couple of people that I was rehabbing with down in Florida that I could maybe say that about. Um, but you know, I haven't put any money down.
Please tell us. This is the type of stuff we love getting on guys about this. Please tell me who it was.
Trey Nordman. Yeah,
really?
He's a reliever from Lipscomb, and I think he thinks he's a little bit better than he actually is. So if I were to put some money down, I'd put some money down against him.
I love that. You mentioned hanging out and watching football. I asked this question from the bottom of my heart. Are you a hardcore Iowa football fan?
Yeah, you know, I was actually thinking about and wondering if you'd bring this up.
Dude.
You know, we had a tough weekend.
A tough weekend. 2 yards in the second half. 2. And then obviously the punt return thing. Are you okay, do you delight in the sicko nature of being an Iowa football fan? Like, do you delight in the, oh no, hell yeah, we're watching 15 punts today? I am all in for it. Or is it infuriating, but it's in your blood, so there's nothing you can do about it?
Well, it definitely helps that I was a punter in high school and definitely enjoy punting. So, I mean, you know, I can enjoy that. I can respect watching some punts, but yeah, in terms of watching that offense, it's pretty hard. You know, when Caitlin Clark goes out there and puts up 36 and Kinnick and
they won't do it all season. They won't do it all year.
More than 20, it's tough.
Oh man, what a scene that was! By the way, when they did the exhibition at the stadium, man, that was electric, dude. She's a hell of a player, man. My God, she's good.
Yeah, she is, and she's been like that her entire life. Nothing's changed.
That's cool. Do you know her?
Yeah, I grew up with her. We went to school.
That's cool,
for 12
man.
together.
Did you ever get to play against her? Like, did you ever like go out and try to take a shot and get embarrassed by her?
Yeah, actually in 8th grade, she nutmegged me and then scored an easy layup on me. Yeah. She's embarrassed me a couple times.
That's awesome though, dude. Like hang on. But now you've got a story, right? Like now.
Yeah, I mean, she actually grew up playing boys basketball for like the first like 5 or 6 years, and she was the best player on the team.
Dude.
So
Dude,
yeah.
That's cool though. I mean, like, God, she's ridiculous. It's absolutely like she's got. It's not even Steph Curry range. Like, she's inventing range. You're just like, how is she?
What she's doing? Yeah, what she's doing is just. I mean, it's totally different than what's been going on in the past. I mean, she's changing the game.
Oh, it's so. I did not know that you guys. That's really cool, man. How'd you handle the national championship game though? Like, what was it? If we had been with you while you were watching it, like, would we maybe have said, I'm not sure that we're ever going to be able to watch a game with Carter again?
Yeah, that was. I think I said a few words I probably shouldn't have, and that was definitely tough to watch. I mean, you hate to see it, but I mean, obviously, Iowa had a great season, so you still got to respect that. And you know what, Caitlin and what the entire Iowa team did is. You know, some would say Iowa's a women's basketball school now.
That's it's a wild way to think about it, but dude, when you're that good, I mean, Maryland women's basketball was good for a long time too, so we have felt that here a good bit. I'm thinking too. You say you were a punter. Of course, we know Adley was a kicker. So who would be like the return man if we put together like a special teams unit of just people within the Orioles system?
As far as a punt returner or a kick returner?
Yeah, it might have to be Enrique Bradfield, right? Like, he'd probably be the good option.
Oh yeah.
we got a special teams unit working at this point. We got the whole crew.
Yeah.
I don't know who would be the ideal choice for long snapper in this situation, though. I'd have to think about that. don't know if anybody's got any history. I don't
Yeah,
even. It feels like,
I'm not.
yeah, I got nothing there. We'll keep working on it. We'll keep trying to put together this unit. Uh,
Yeah.
Carter Baumler, it's great to catch up with you, man. If people do you use social at all?
Um, I use Twitter a little bit. Instagram not as much anymore.
Yeah,
Just because I don't know. I just feel like Instagram you can just kind of waste a lot of time on it. But
bro.
so I don't have the app downloaded right now. So if somebody sends me something, I might miss it.
Are you
Um,
are, are you even on TikTok? Because dude, if you think you've wasted time on Instagram, like you better
no,
stay the
I
heck
haven't.
off of TikTok. You
Uh,
better
I
stay as
downloaded TikTok like over COVID for a couple weeks, and
yeah,
I was just wasting time.
dude. It
So
is a
I haven't
nightmare.
downloaded it, or I haven't had it since.
That's the best. I can only imagine how much better your life is now that you've like social media detoxed. Like I can only imagine how much more pleasant your days are than those of us that are still wading into the cesspool on a day-to-day basis. It's
Yeah, I mean, I still fall into the trap and can spend a little time on Twitter. But gosh, I've honestly even been just thinking about just getting rid of my phone and just getting a flip phone like Brandon Young.
I'm all in, bro. I'm so all in
Yeah,
on that. If you do want to follow him, at Carter Baumler on Twitter and at Carter_Baumler on Instagram. Happy
yeah,
for you as you're getting back out there. Can't wait to talk to you again next year and see a full season as you continue to make strides towards the bigs. Carter Baumler, really appreciate you taking the time for us this morning, man.
yeah. I appreciate it. Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Looking forward to doing more.